I'm on the trail. Starry nights, campfire lights.
Hello, everybody. I don't even know what I was going for there. Felt like a Freddy Krueger thing. It felt like Infinity Gauntlet thing. Like I'm putting on the rings and now I'm a superhero. Is that? I mean, I'll have to talk to past Jeff later on. Future Jeff will have to have a talk with past Jeff to figure out why the hell I did that. And ultimately, it doesn't even matter. Hello, welcome to Monday. I hope everybody had a great couple of weeks. I hope everybody has all their digits so they can also put on their skull rings, because I do know somebody who during 4th of July preparation like blew himself across his kitchen. I mean, there was an explosion that caused him to fly. Like when I say he blew himself across his kitchen, I want you to just picture an explosion that like dynamite level of, and he had to have 12 hours of surgery where they rearranged his organs and put them back where they used to be. He still had them. They just were in different spots. He lost a couple of fingers. He's a great guy. And I hated to see that happen to him. So hope nothing like that happened to any of you. I hope you had a great 4th, and a great 5th. Anybody can enjoy a good 5th any time of year. Cheers. So who's here? I got Mark. I got number 1. Hello. Phil. Yes, I am here. Brandon. Good to see you. Brandon Carr. Mike Hughes. Nice. Books. We got Jason. Jason, the book obsessionist, is here. Zach is here. Hello. Hello, Ron. I missed the last 3 weeks. Well, I missed last week. So me and you were out because of my daughter's wedding in Washington. But I'm back tonight with a Barrio Brewing Rojo Red Ale in one hand and my limited edition of Autumn Springs in the other. That is awesome. Far apart. Yes, as recommended. I have mine down there and my beer up here. So it's drink responsibly, and that means like don't spill it on your books. I don't know if there's any other meaning for that. Hey, Patty, good to see you. Jim Chidester, yes? Or is it a Mr. Rogers thing? I used to write Mr. Rogers facts. I was inspired by the Chuck Norris facts, and I was a very bored guy when I'd get to work every day. And so I thought I'd write up some Mr. Rogers facts for my coworkers. And if they wanted to sign up, they could. And I had a tidy little distribution list of people who were interested in hearing the Mr. Rogers fact of the day. And I wrote one every single day. And Mr. Rogers, in my world, in my thing, was a 500-year-old cannibal vampire. But you can't be a cannibal vampire unless you eat other vampires, right? So some fact checking was required. But I thought there's no way Mr. Rogers could be this good of a person. You see someone that good and you're like, he can't be that good. There's no way. No, he's got some skill. And the nicer you are in person, the deeper your closet is of skeletons. It's just crammed full. Case in point, Bill Cosby, right? And I think I did these Mr. Rogers facts after Bill Cosby wrecked everybody's childhood. So, Mr. Rogers. But it turns out he was that good. He was like a saint or whatever. You didn't miss last week. He wasn't on, I know. Cool shirt. Thank you. It's a Jack Skellington original. My collar's all. My collar. Why didn't anybody? It's hard to tell where the collar is on a shirt like this. I feel like it's a Saturday Night Fever type of thing. Do I button that? Or I don't know. I don't know what to do. My stylist was off tonight. So I think that's appropriate. That's not an inappropriate amount of There was a woman I used to work with. She called this taco meat. Is that disgusting? I don't know I don't know what culture. This woman was non-white. Let's put it that way. So I didn't know if I just said something. I'm just trying to clarify. I might have said something that doesn't belong or belongs to certain groups of people. But this non-white woman referred to chest hair as taco meat. I know. I didn't like it. I didn't like hearing it. I don't like the imagery. And I just like, okay. I'm like, all right. All right. I mean, I just took it for what so but I'm not this is a decent like I'm not wearing this to church because I don't go to church. But it's a decent appearance. So I'm just going to leave it at that. We're going to be checking with the Magic Duck Bucket in a little bit. Hello, some random guy. Good to see you. I hate fireworks since I got dogs. You know what? You know what's funny? We have Poe, he doesn't like fireworks, and he's like he doesn't like it if he hears them, and he backs away, but he doesn't get all trembly. You know, he's not like Paul Tremblay. he doesn't like break down, but he doesn't like them. Willow, our Japanese chin, I think she just doesn't realize what's going on. All around her, and her eyes are bigger than my head. So she could see it, and the things are going off all around her, and she's just like, whatever, scratch my butt. She just doesn't care. And she's a tiny little 12-pound dog. And I think I'm going to replace her with a tegu. If you guys know, it's a lizard. It's an invasive species of lizard in Georgia. You can kill them on sight because they have no natural predators and they're wreaking havoc in the ecosystem in Georgia. So I'm going to drive down to Georgia and come back with a bunch. They're awesome. They're 4 feet. They can grow to 4 feet long and 10 pounds. These tegus. So I think, if I get a tegu, Will's got to be kept far away because I think they eat Japanese chins. So I got to be very careful. I have books written by Fred and books Fred wrote. They aren't limited, but they are definitely special. Really? Huh. Written by Fred and books Fred wrote. Isn't that the same thing? I mean, it's the same thing. Fred Rogers. Wow, were they signed? Good evening, Lance. Hey, just got here. Heard the taco meat story and nearly tapped. Oh, Chad. Chad, you're early tonight. That's awesome. Glad you're here. I'm sorry you had to hear taco meat, but that's how I start the show. Every week, I show the viewers what I've shaved into my taco meat. I'll say it again. I should have named the show tonight Taco Meat. Had I known, I had no idea. On my bingo card, am I going to talk about that? No. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, we can get very creative with chest hair, I think. Anyone here from Biblio lately tried emailing him a couple of times just to get an update and nothing? Yeah, bibliopathologist. I don't know. I mean, Jason just announced Hatteras Path, A Short Stay in Hell. Looks pretty awesome. I'm excited for it. But it is a little, I am tense now. I am officially tense, right? I am officially uptight and worried about all the things being met. But Jason did tell me he told Gerald to pause and get caught up on the backlog. So in that case, maybe no news is good news because he's nose down, but he's definitely got to communicate with people. He has to. So I apologize. I'm sorry, but I have not. And if I did, trust me, I think I would have led with that. Do I spy a boombox with a 5 CD changer? The Wizard How? You do. It's a 3-disc changer. It's an AIWA, AIWA, and it came with the house. It's why we bought the house. And I kind of got it to work a little bit, but you'll notice right up there, you see that thing that I'm pointing at? Bam. That thing is also a CD player, and it will play the CDs that other one won't read. So I have a little CD player up on top of the boombox. But yeah, I started the show with a cowboy song from Anthrax. That's what it's called, the Cowboy Song. It's one of my favorite. It's a cover. It's the John Bush era. I don't mess around. John Bush era is better than the Joey Belladonna era, but they're back with Joey Belladonna. And I read a whole lot about what happened with Anthrax. Like basically, they wanted John Bush to come back or stay on, but he said, I won't tour more than 30 shows. And they said, sorry, they're going to hit the road. He's like, I got a family. I ain't going to tour all that much. I also heard Dave Lombardo was spilling the tea about Slayer getting screwed over by their management for 30 years. You know what he said? He said Slayer, Tom Araya, and Kerry King were getting paid $114,000 per tour. They would have 90 dates in their tour, 90 nights where they got up on stage and they made everyone bleed, right? And those tours, they only got paid $114,000 each. And Dave Lombardo only got paid $67,000. And they did 90 shows. And so that means they were paid, Kerry and Tom were paid $1,200 per gig. This is Slayer. I think of all the money people spend to see them, they routinely will sell out because it's Slayer. And they were making $1,200. I couldn't imagine going to the Aragon Ballroom, seeing them on stage and thinking they're only getting paid $1,200 for tonight. That's insane. And it's all the management company took it all. The band made $4 million and they only got paid $400,000. Whatever. I wasn't going to talk about metal either, but who knows? We just found out Sam, our 14-year black lab, doesn't like thunder and fireworks. Had to wait till fireworks were done to get him out to go potty. Oh, I'm so sorry, Sam. 14 or 1.4-year-old. These eyes, Lance. Seriously, these eyes. I'm happily burning them out on books. But so I didn't see the 1.4-year-old. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. You know what? In honor of Sam, let's check in with the Magic Duff Bucket. What have you got for me today? Magic Duff Bucket, a Guinness. Yay. Mitch is supposed to be sending me backups. So I don't know where those are. I think Mitch is kind of super uber busy. He's got a lot going on. I don't know about his taco meat situation. You'd have to call him and check out his OnlyFans to see that. But he is a very busy guy, so I'm not going to be too mad. But I don't have my soft flotsam, tender jetsam books and my backup brews. I need reinforcements, man. I need those soldiers to come marching in. You don't even know. Oh, you can be mad at me. It's okay. No, Mitch. See, now you made me feel bad. Now I feel guilty because you should come in hot and insult me, and then I feel like, yeah, that's all right. We're trading punches. But then he's like, you can be mad at me. It's okay. It sort of takes the steam off the boiling tea, or whatever. I'm sorry. Here we go. Some beer, some good beer. Anyway, I meant books about Fred. Oh, not signed. Oh, okay. So they're about him. Yeah. He was a great human being, and I would hope we preserved his body somehow so that we can clone that guy. It would be a boring world, admittedly, but it would be a good world. And all our horror would be in the fiction. Wouldn't that be nice if somebody could just organize reality and push all the horror into the fiction, and then we could close it, and it's like, oh, that was scary. I'll just close that and not have to be horrified anymore. Keeping my fingers crossed, Jake does a Autumn Springs Retirement Home Massacre slipcase. Yes, because that is what is missing. Here it is, man. I don't know. I hope everybody who wanted one got one. I know there was a waiting list, but this is top shelf Earthling. Outside of the Modern Classics series. Now, the Modern Classics is obviously an elevation. It's it is a level up. Outside of that, this is goddamn awesome. Color images, color art, a lot of great interior page design. Paul really he went off. He went off on this, and as I said in my video, I'm saddened that I'm not going to be. I didn't experience the book the first time in this edition, because this is the ultimate one right here, like ninth version of the book, and I'm counting arcs in there. So if you're at home going, wait a second, doofus, I have 3 separate arcs. Okay, so there are 6 versions of this book published by publishers, and 3 arcs. So I consider those versions. Anyway, this is the 6th one, and it's the absolute best. So we'll leave it there, but Soldiers coming soon. All right. Nice. Remove of OnlyFans. Remove OnlyFans? Would rather a Guinness than mess with IPAs. Lord knows I've tried to like them. Like the Elysian Space Dust everyone's talking about. Is that Three Floyds? Yeah, I'm not an IPA fan. I love a stout, man. There's a guy running for office in local politics. Stout is his last name. Elect Stout. I'm like, I might go vote, actually. I would like to vote for Stout. Just like, I would like to say, yeah, I voted for Stout. The Stout gets my vote, but I don't buy into it anymore. So why go through the trouble of going to the place when it really doesn't even matter? Sorry, kids. I'm disillusioned. Totally. Cheers. I'd rather have a stout than vote for one. I just got the new Rapture chapbook in the mail today. I like Arson Bind Design coaster that came with it. Oh, look at this. Mitch is sending out the coasters. We talked about this, Mitch, that who was it? Jason got a coaster with his Daytide, I believe, and all these things people are getting. Huh. Okay. I was filming a Rapture video, and I did it. I actually did it twice, and I don't like the way it came out. So I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to post it. But you know what? Maybe I'll have to wait until my soldiers arrive. Can't stand IPs. I'm all about the malt, not the hop. I think, Ron, this is another one we agree on. We'll never agree on Bentley Little. But we will always have the road and the malty malts. Hop over the hops. After seeing Autumn and the way Paul has stepped up his production elements, I'm even more excited about McCammon's Mind. I can't talk about that. I seriously can't. I had to pass on it. And so, yeah, I don't want to talk about it. I guess everybody's going to have to go over to Tim's channel to go check out mine. Oh man. That hurts. That one hurts. Ugh. That hurts. I'm glad it sold out though, because Paul deserves these sellouts. I really don't know why Come With Me isn't sold out, right? What's available at Earthling? Let's hop over. Earthling Pub. It's not a pub. Currently available. Okay. No, it is out of print. Come With Me. Okay. A Song for the End of the World's gone. Come With Me, Wanderer's Mine. They're all The Complete Almost Ruth. Rage Master just sold out. I've been meaning to read that one. I have it. But you can get Bloodstained Neverland, Spirit of Place, which I should read. I haven't read it. I have an ARC. I got to read it. There's a lot that are still available that I'm not happy. I'm not happy these things are available. Is October Town still available? I just reviewed that. Yeah, it's available. You should go get it. I don't know if Mia Dolly is mad at me because she did not share my review of October Town. She shared my review of Beautiful Ones, I think. I don't know if she shared a Song for the End of the World review. I think she did, but she didn't. She shared Tim's review of October Town, and she saw my review of October Town. She didn't share it. I wonder, I'm going to have to watch that back and see, what did I say? Did I? Oopsie. I don't know, but it was a great read, and I highly recommend it for the people who love Halloween. You love Halloween. You want some Halloween. I'm going to be distracted. Then go get it. It's a great Halloween read. You should all go check it out. Mitch, I love the Arson by Design coaster. I got a glass with my day tide. Oh man, that's awesome. Agreed. Even a handwritten copy done by your own hand is an addition. Even though I have 5 copies of Autumn Springs, I'm glad I spent the money on the Earthling version. Yeah. I mean, you should be. I love IPAs. There's Mark with the opinion to make Mitch feel better. Mitch brews IPAs. But yeah, he does. And if Mitch brews it, I'll dig it. I'll like it. And Mitch, I'm sorry if I'm asking for reinforcements and you're just not in that life anymore. You're just not Rapture Brewing anymore. I don't know. I don't know what your sitch is. I know Rapture Publishing is kicking like a donkey whose balls are wrapped in duct tape. To quote Tuco. Kicks like a mule. That's what it kicks like a mule. I don't know how he phrases it. I got to watch it again. This kicks like a mule with his balls wrapped in duct tape. It's tight. Like, why would you do that to a mule? I don't think there's a procedure that requires that treatment of a mule. Unless, you're trying to get better kicks out of it. But so I don't know where you're at in your life, Mitch. But I know there's huge news, right? Is the news revealed, Mitch? I don't know if I could share it. I was going to put it in I thought Friday it was announced. Was it announced last Friday? Friday was the 3rd of July. and it was before the 4th, and I wasn't paying attention. So I don't know if your news did get announced about what's going out with Rapture Publishing, but it's all great news. It's fantastic. You tell me I could say it here, I'll say it here. So I kind of think that your whole world is Rapture Publishing. Announcement the 29th. Wait, 29th of July? I thought the announcement was the 29th of June. Oh man. Okay. Well, I'll keep my mouth shut. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I won't say nothing. I thought this was old news. Oh man, I came that close, man. I'm glad you're here. I wouldn't have said anything if you weren't here. But all I'm going to say is it's awesome news. Congratulations to you, Mitch. Cheers to you and Rapture Publishing. And it's a great day for a lot of people involved. It's awesome. I am secondhand elated for you. And others. So got many behind the scenes things to do. Yeah, I'm sure you do, including getting my beer to me, and shipping everything. Like you're going to have to hire people, man. Jill, we're moving to Tulsa. We're going to move out to Tulsa. We're going to throw a saddle on Sandwich. We're going to ride that piggy around and ship some boxes. You ever try to ride that piggy, Mitch? You could admit it. I mean, like one time you're at the farm, maybe Sean's there, and you've both drunk a fifth of scotch, and there's Sandwich just hanging out. And you're like, man, I think I got a saddle. And then Sean's like, shh, you don't need a saddle. And then he jumps up on it like they do on the Australian Outback. And he's just like, go, Sandwich, go. And then he runs. I don't know. I don't know what happens at Oklahoma Farms. No. Oh, Mitch, you killed me. Sandwich died, Jill. No, not Sandwich. I mean, I could ask the next question. Did he end up in one? I know life on a farm is hard. These things are not pets. They are product. I hope he was just so huge. He was enormous. He seemed like a good guy. I saw him knock down a fence while I was there. He just wanted to scratch his flank like a land whale, and he walked up he was a big brown bastard. And he walked up to the fence and he just rubbed his back on it. And then bye-bye, fence. I'm sorry to hear that. No, he didn't get eaten that I know of. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I like that pig. And then he didn't. Then he was gone. He's like, I'm not going to suffer these fools and their little fest. And he went off and he brought his dignity with him. He kept his dignity. Speaking of announcements, was about today's Suntop offering. The very, very excited about Suntop September announcement. My fourth, possibly third favorite McCarthy. Well, Mr. Clinton, I had just finished this. What a brilliant book. Child of God, brilliant. Just a brilliant book. This is only the second complete Cormac McCarthy book I've read. Yeah, I'm admitting it. I have No Country that I've got to read. I have a lot of his books, but man, this totally lit the fire. And again, when I sat with this book, there's a script running below everything I'm reading going, you stupid asshole. How have you not read this immediately? How have you slept on a Cormac McCarthy book? So many I have. I know what the man can do. And this was beyond brilliant. And I got to say, a funny thing, this book was written in 1973, and it's set near Knoxville in Sevierville, Tennessee. It's up there by Pigeon Forge, near Dollywood, and all that, a lot of touristy parts of Tennessee now. But in 1973, it was probably very different. And I live in a town north of Chattanooga that's very similar to probably how the town I live in probably isn't radically different than what it was in 1973. So as I'm reading this book and getting a sense of place, I'm like, oh my God, I can feel it. This is so Tennessee. And I have a much deeper understanding than had I not moved here. But Child of God is awesome. It's supposedly based on a true story that I'm going to look up because what this guy did is just ridiculous. It's awful. The main character, Lester Ballard, in there is just a repulsive, repugnant human being. And I can't imagine what the real person did, but it's got awful bad. And one thing I love about that book is that Cormac McCarthy does. He is the master for a reason, and one of those reasons is he also doesn't suffer fools. When he writes a story, it's like, I'm going to tell you the story. I'm going to tell you what you need to know and nothing more. And the stuff you don't see happening, I hope you have a functioning brain to fill in the blanks. Like he writes it, and if you don't get it, then it wasn't meant for you. I don't know if that makes sense. He doesn't spell it all out. He doesn't spoon feed you like you are a little turd, right? He writes a story, and the things that, there are times I'm reading, I'm like, wait, what? Like, I realize, okay, there was a gap in what I was shown, and in that gap, these things happened, and I filled it in like right then. You stick around, you pay attention, you're rewarded. And you need to bring your brain, because that is going to add all the nuance that his words leave behind. And I was struck as I was reading it again. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to ask Google AI. I'm going to ask, what American author is the most masculine? Because when I was reading the book, I'm like, this is like if you had a spectrum of feminine to masculine. This struck me as like, what is, if you dialed it up and you strictly went masculine in your writing, this is how it would feel. That's a Cormac McCarthy book. And sure enough, Google AI returned Ernest Hemingway. Am I saying that right? Ernest Hemingway, right? Wow. Brains fried. Ernest Hemingway. Is it Ernest? Yeah. Why does it sound wrong? Ernest Hemingway and Jack London were the most masculine writers, they said, according to Google AI. And then they said, but the most recent contemporary, the third one they listed was Cormac McCarthy. Like, yes. I mean, it just felt, and I can't, if I sat down and wrote it, I could probably articulate it better, what I mean by the most masculine voice. And then I tried to think, well, who would be the most feminine? And I don't know if I would even venture a guess at that. But yeah, I mean, it's a brilliant book, and I can't imagine what Suntup's going to do for it. And I'm going to grieve the fact that I can't have a matching number to go with my road, my blood meridian, because I also don't have No Country. Oh, but what a brilliant book, man. I'm so glad I read it. Loved Child of God. Jeff, it totally makes sense why Suntub people reached out to you about Rapture when I first started. I'm guessing they were scared I would be doing the same thing they were starting. Wait, what? Suntub people reached out to you about Rapture? Did they? I don't remember. I could be not misremembering things. Hello, everyone. Can't stick around, but I wanted to pop in and say hi. I'll have to catch this a little later on. Take it easy, David. Look at that. The Jeff word. There it is. There it is. Half full. Isn't it close to 1,000 degrees in Oklahoma? Stay safe, Mitch and the Michelettes. Yes. Stay safe. Be cool. I'm trying to understand what you wrote, Mitch. Did Suntop reach out to me? I don't remember. Or you're just trying to create lore. Hey, Rob Loves Books. Hello. And I thank you for explaining your comment on my Patreon, Rob Loves Books, because I was confused. I'm like, this isn't bad writing, but are you saying it's bad writing? And I thought it was cool. If you didn't read my newsletter, somebody was bashing Between Two Ferns. DNF'd it at 9 pages. That's huh? Oh, did I say two ferns? Between two fires. The book is Between Two Fires. But every time I think that, I think of Between Two Ferns. And I said that in the newsletter. I'm like, I can't help picturing Zach Galifianakis. So it's Between Two Fires. And this poster DNF'd it at 9 pages. Insane. That's an injustice. You can't do that and then tell your audience that you did that. At 9 pages, it's not fair. And the reasons this person DNF'd was beyond ludicrous. Did not start. Very good. I agree with that. You didn't even start it. 9 pages. You didn't even get into the dubs. The dub digits. 9 pages. Holy shit. I mean, that's why I like Rapture chat books, because they're pretty short. There's no way you DNF them. You'll persevere. And then you'll understand why they were selected. But I mean, that was ridiculous. So Rob Loves Books included a bunch of quotes from the book as proof that it is a quality publication. A lot of people absolutely, that's what I didn't understand when I first saw this post. This person was saying they DNF'd it at 9 pages. And I'm like, what book? Between Two Fires. I only heard excellent things about that book. Midworld did it. A lot of people love it. I think Broken Binding was doing it. I don't understand. And clearly this person is deranged and needs to step away from the horror. Horror is not your category, individual person on the internet. Go elsewhere. Jesus. Jeff, yeah, some girl that works at Suntop reached out to you when you made a post about Rapture or something. Okay, so it's probably Rebecca. Oh my God. I'm telling you, I must be from a different dimension, because names are sounding wrong to me. Or maybe I'm getting closer to another dimension. Jill, I'm manifesting a better future for everybody, and we're moving to another dimension because names are sounding funny to my ears. They're not ringing true. Rebecca, right? Rebecca Dornsife. Oh man. The Suntop Ninja. That's probably who it was. I ordered 2 Game of Thrones books for big bucks so I can get a 2K book plate. Nice. Well, I hope you get what you want. I don't know how to talk anymore. Things. I didn't finish Between Two Fires either, but made it further than 9 pages. So that's totally legitimate. And actually, when I first saw this post, I thought, I want this outlier opinion. I'm curious to see who is bashing something that who is zigging when everybody else is zagging. So I had a lot of hope that there would be an informed idea. But even at 9 pages, I'm like, okay, this isn't going to be an informed opinion. So it was already set to fail, but I had to see. It was like, maybe it was rage baiting. I don't know. Because a lot of people love that book. And this person's like, I'm going to get a lot of attention by bashing something everybody loves. And then in my post, I proceeded to bash Stephen King. So I know how that feels. That type of reader goes into a book looking for stuff to be triggered over. And by golly, they're going to find it, which is funny because this person posted what they did. And then this other poster said, well, in a very gentle way, a very measured and balanced and gracious way, said, well, I'm what I think I'm hearing is your personal opinion, and that's fine, that's valid, but you need to understand, this scene is very important to everything else that follows. And then the original poster said, yeah, let me be clear, this is my opinion, thank you very much. Like, whoa, this person was trying to educate you on maybe understanding the context a little better, and you totally went balls out crazy. But whatever. Yeah, these people are obviously aggrieved and finding evidence of that grievance everywhere in the world, and then they have a platform to express it. So, good luck with that. Mitch, you has them shaking in their boots. Between Two Fires shot up to one of my all-time faves after reading it. That's a lot of people agree. I heard the Hadron Collider was shut down and it messed with the multiverse. I know. That's what they're saying. You know what they're also saying is that we're all dead. Everybody, the whole world ended in 2012. And we're just in, I don't know where now. I'd expect hell to be worse or heaven to be better. But maybe that is hell. It's just meh, like a flat line of meh. Where you get bad news occasionally, you never get good news, and then it just comes back to meh. But I guess I'm making a transition. I didn't hate Between Two Fires. I just didn't keep my attention, and that's a danger too. The books, there are reasons to DNF a book beyond being offended or whatever. I just had to adjust because it looked like I was sitting at the kids' table. Like I'm like, hello, can you pass me the stuffing? And I didn't like that look. Hello, would anyone like an extra serving of taco meat? No, nobody wants taco meat unless it's in a taco. You go to Taco Bell and get a taco without taco meat, you're going through that drive-thru again. I guarantee it. I love horror, but I won't read extreme horror. That's why I have nothing to say about it. There you go. If I picked up The Slob or Playground or The Groomer or Pedo Island or whatever it was, I would look at that and go, well, that was my fault now, wasn't it? Wasn't it, Beef Daddy? Taco Beef Daddy. Wasn't that your fault? And I would look in the mirror and I'd have a discussion with myself. And then I'd try to hug it out and then I'd cut myself on the mirror. Happens more than you would like to know. And so, yeah, I think that if you read something you don't like, you just move on. That's what adults do. There's so much out there to enjoy. I saw reviews of Child of God going, that Lester Ballard is awful. I didn't want to read about him. Well, that's the point. The whole point is set up in the beginning of the book where he said, here's a story about Lester Ballard. He was a child of God, much like yourself, perhaps. The idea is that this guy is allowed to exist. He exists at the depths of humanity, just like everybody else. Does it shake your faith in God? Does it confirm your faith in God? However that picture or that contrast works for you will say what you believe. It's interesting. It's like a lot of books have no point to exist. This book is like, we're saying, if you're a person of faith, this guy was a child of God. And maybe he went astray. Maybe he went way astray. But if you think you're a child of God, the same horrific tendencies bundled into Lester Ballard are in other children of God. That's a human potential. Humans could potentially be like this guy. Does it shake your faith? I don't know. That's between you and yourself. And so, but there were people that were like, I don't like this. That's the whole point of the book, you moron. It's like if you said, I don't jibe with his writing. I mean, there are people that say that about Stephen Graham Jones. That's fine. You don't jibe with the writing. That's cool. It's a chemistry. It's a personal relationship. It's a connection. And if you don't click, just move along, you don't have to hate on it. I mean, although some of the funniest reviews I've written were when I hated on CJ Tudor and I hated on Bentley Little, because sometimes it's fun to explore your hate. But I wish them both tremendous success, and I don't think they're evil people. Like, I don't think they are like the people that were saying about Cormac McCarthy. Like, he's not validating this guy. He's not saying this guy is a good person or he's justified in his behavior. Between Two Fires and Swan Song got similarities, and I love Swan Song. Nice. I'd have to check that out. I think I have to read it now. Father figure and daughter type traveling across a post-mid-apocalyptic world. Oh, that's really? Huh. Interesting. So that's where they are. We're in Purgatory, RA? Okay. Purgatory Media. That's Alexis. I just picked up Between Two Fires on the weekend to add to my TBR pile. Add it now. Now, everybody who saw that post, there were a lot of people saying, well, I'm not going to read it now because he wrote about evil men thinking evil things about a young woman. Oh, you can't write like that. Now everybody should go buy it. I will accept taco meat on my pizza. Oh, Hans, good to see you. Nice, great opening comment. So if I stood over your pizza and rubbed my chest a lot, you'd want that on your pizza? That's kind of awful. I'll send you a bag of it. I'm currently 67% through Swan Song. I hope you love it. Hell would be having CD being the only publisher. Yeah, it would be. It would be an eternity, too. In fact, taco meat is also good in an omelet. Therefore, you are wrong, Jeffy Jeff. Wrong. I hope I read that correctly. I'm working on it. Let's air it out for taco meat. No tacos, except the lack of Oh, just give in. Oh, my God. Oh, how about taco meat on your nachos? Did you even consider nachos? No, you did not. I can read extreme horror, but chest hair described as taco meat is crossing the line I didn't know I had. All right, well, we got to talk to Aaron Beauregard and John Athan and all those guys that say, hey, have you reached your full gross out potential? Maybe I'll be their coaches. I'll do a $97 course. For just $97, you could take my 8-part course, and I'll introduce you to phrases and ideas like taco meat. I'm trying to think of something else. I don't know, belly button eyes. I don't know. There's an eye in there, and it's got lint in it, and it's always infected. I don't know. I'll come up with 7 more. Okay, my defense of taco meat was taken out of context. I admit it. I guess that reviewer needs trigger warnings. That's the thing. If you need trigger warnings, and you know what? I will say there are people in this world. I worked with incredibly great people. I've met great people. I know some great people, right? Who are, I don't want to say fragile, but they just don't like those things. And they know it. So the worst thing they could do is read it and then review it without saying, like, hey, look, I don't go any, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is as extreme horror as I get. Okay, well then what are you reading The Road for? Or Child of God or Autumn Springs? Like, you can't do that and then expect like, it's just so stupid. It's obviously, which of these is wrong, Christopher Buehlman or this poster? Well, I'm going to side with Christopher Buehlman as being the right. Also, I would like to take this moment that I have your attention to give a proper huzzah. Producer Jill's in earshot tonight, so she heard the huzzah. She said, thank you, and a huzzah back. You got a huzzah back. There, my job is done. Girl, not young woman, just FYI. Girl. In what? What did I say? Did I say a girl? I can read girl, not young woman. Did I misage somebody? But doesn't that book take place in the 1300s? They married at 12 back then. They died at 15. Yeah. It is. And it's like, can you not allow, like, I know that there were some people that were upset that Philip Fracassi in Gothic wrote one scene that was just awful. There's an awful scene in there, and it's to show how affected this character is by things in the book. I don't want to spoil anything, but this character did something that was otherwise unthinkable to this person. It's a pivotal key moment. It develops the plot. It shows how far gone this character is. And people dinged him on it. I saw reviews where people were like, oh, that was uncalled for. That's the point of the book. It's the character arc. We're seeing the depth to which this character is going. If you can't allow that, then what? Then what are you doing? Go read Winnie the Pooh, Lost in the 100-Acre Woods. There are things you can do at your time. It would be like yelling at an electrician that was just, I was going somewhere. I was going to say it'd be like yelling at an electrician because your faucet's leaking. What? That's not that person's job. But it's not a good analogy. But you kind of see what I kind of maybe meant. You're yelling at somebody for doing the right thing and you're getting the wrong result. But that's not even what that person is there for. Whatever. Reading the Goodreads reviews for Lolita is an experience. Oh my God. Yes. And that's a work of literature. I've never read it. I don't understand it. I don't know what the whole thing's about. I mean, I got an idea. I have an idea of what happens in the book, but I don't know why. I don't know the nuance. I don't know what the big purpose is. What's the point of the book? I don't know that. I didn't study it. So yeah, that's kind of book that maybe you shouldn't review till you have a broader understanding of things. Analogy Jeff tried. It wasn't good. It wasn't pretty. That was not a good analogy attempt. An attempted analogy, which is sort of like a misdemeanor. I just had a Trojanator. Trogonator double Bach lager, and it was tasty, and I am now enjoying the 8.2 ABV. That is a significant number, an 8.2 ABV. It's not 11% like a Death Bus, but it's there. It's much better than what I'm working with. 8.2 ABV is very respectable. Oh, you know what I got in the mail that I haven't shown anyone? But I could show you tonight because, I'm going to enjoy this. And I didn't want to do a video on it. I actually have mixed feelings about it, but I'll show it to you. I'm at work and jealous of Jeff and Hans's libations. Oh, yeah. I am sad that Phil Fracassi, yes, I mean, that is, I'm sorry, RA. I wish you could enjoy the libations as well. Maybe a Jeff Con 2 will happen at some point. We can all have libations together. I am sad that Phil Fracassi has no Massachusetts stop on his current tour schedule. I'm not going to King Con. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I haven't looked at his tour schedule. But yeah, is he coming to Parnassus again? I gotta reach out. I'm drinking an Airbrush Hazy IPA from Grand Strand Brewing in Myrtle Beach, 6.5 ABV. Okay, I'm going to North Carolina to see Philip in September. Are you going, Jeff? Where is he going to be? Is it going to be Asheville? We need Jeff Con too. Oh, that would be fun. If I did it, I would learn all the lessons I learned, and producer Jill would enjoy it. Trust me on that. Closer. So is it Asheville? Is it far west in North Carolina? I don't know where it is. If it's Asheville, maybe I could go. If it's Asheville, outside Charlotte. Okay. Well, I'll have to look into that. Mike, if you're going to it, it's in September. Huh. I don't know. We will have to think on this. Because I would love to go. First beer I ever had with a lot of alcohol is Les Fins du Monde. I think 9%. That was 30 years ago. Les Fins du Monde, that's a Megadeth beer. Megadeth has a Tout le Monde. It means goodbye world. I love that song. Oh, I love that song. But Megadeth did a beer, and I think it was with Les Fins du Monde or something like that. The End of the World is an excellent Canadian ale. Oh, it's Canadian. Belmont, North Carolina, Belmont Bookshop. Okay, Belmont. Man, in Canada means the end of the world, yeah. La Fin du Monde means the end of the world, yeah, and it's used for many titles. No, a Tout le Monde is the Megadeth song, a Tout le Monde, and I think it means farewell world. Les Fins du Monde, yeah, the end of the world. So anyway, let me open this up, and I already cut it. This is the Levidian Publications Story Box, Volume 1. And it was, look how it's packed. Look at that. And I got to say, what's fun is there's a chapbook in here I'm really excited to have. And it might not be what you would expect. And we will show it. But here is the box. I love that Brian James Freeman did this, by the way. So he usually sends out all these chapbooks if you support him on the Patreon. And this year, instead of sending them out individually, he bundled them and put them in a box. And this is a little reminiscent of the Ghost box. Ron knows what I'm talking about. It was a very cool thing that I never purchased. I should have. I'm kind of glad I didn't because I don't know where I would shelf it and all that. But the Ghost box had like little chapbooks in a very cool container. But look at that. So it has Levidian story box on each side. Levidian story box 1. They couldn't fit the word volume on there, so they just went with 1. And then in the cover. So we'll open this up. And inside are the chappies with this ribbon page thing, ribbon lift. So it's like a proper tray case. And I did not, oh, look at that. So that's like how it is. Boop. Very cool. And they're all in here. Bundled into one thing. I did not realize that was going to be the case. So I have to figure out how I'm going to jailbreak these without, oh, mine was already open. Look at that. It was already peeling off. So is that a problem? No. And also, I don't know if you saw, but Brian James Freeman is no longer hand numbering his books. And I think that's okay. I'm not happy about it, but I'm not mad at him, and I understand why he's doing it. So these are no longer numbered. So How the World Ended Day by Day by Bev Vincent. I have mixed feelings about it. I don't like reading books about Stephen King stuff. I don't like the nonfiction elements, and so I did like the alternate title ones, and so the working title one set they did with Francois, I thought that was very cool, and then the titles of the foreign editions and all that was cool, but I don't know, a timeline. But it's got art in there. I believe it's all Francois art. Yeah, signed by Bev Vincent and Francois. I have respect for Bev Vincent. I totally respect him. I have a love of Francois' art, so that's cool. That's the thing I like most about this chapbook. I probably will never read it, but I will look at it. Then we got A Hostile Environment. I don't know who Charles Lambert is, and I'm not familiar with anything, but so I'm neutral on this. It's signed, of course, Francois art in there. This looks very short. It'll be cool to read something from a new author. Charles Lambert. You guys have any familiarity with Charles Lambert? I have all 4 Ghost Box collections, and they are awesome sauce. Yeah, they did look awesome. I want a Levidian Volume 0 story box for all the early chapbooks. Yeah, I know. I have them all, I believe. Hans, he was selling them. Never read Bev Vincent, but he's a good egg. Yeah. Yeah, I think Bev Vincent's a great guy, too. So that my judgment of the work doesn't mean, it's not a reflection on him. It's just like what I'm into. And I do think there's too much King adjacent shit out there. There's too much, like, oh my God, we got to have more oxygen for other authors. Like, it's someone else's turn. Really, seriously. We're too crowding. He takes up all the space. And he earned it. Yeah, he's a genius. Oh, I got to tap the taco meat. He's earned it. He's a storytelling genius. But there are other worlds than these, and the world has moved on. He was selling additional story boxes, but are they story box volume 0? Oh, see. I wasn't very excited about any of them. I'm going to keep going, but my good friend Brooklyn Ann wrote one of the chapbooks. She's a good egg. Hans, I have no idea. I'll let you know. Okay. I'm using my Revival Levidian box for my early chapbooks. It's good enough. I'm just arguing because I had a double Bach. Doppelbach. He's feeling his oats. Remember that King praised Gothic. King praised Boys in the Valley, too. He liked that. So, yes. I mean, no, I think it's fine for him to endorse new talent, that's fine. But writing, like for example, the worst offender is Richard Chismar, of course. And he wrote that book, Reading Stephen King, essays about what Richard Chismar thinks about King's books. That is a complete waste of life to read that. I don't give a shit what Richard Chismar thinks really about anything, but definitely I don't want his book reports about Stephen King. How is that good reading? I would rather read a Stephen King book than read a book about a Stephen King book. Here we are, Bradbury Tower, Brian James Freeman. I'm surprised, Mike, you said you weren't excited about any of them, because Brian James Freeman is a very talented author. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Then The Bog King's Daughter by Robin Firth. This is another person who has written a number of nonfiction things about Stephen King works, like The Journey to the Dark Tower. And so there is the signatures. Poor Francois. His wrist had to fall off. I mean, holy shit. Now, Sins of the Father. This is Meat Shield Dan Franklin. That's what I refer to him as. Meat Shield Dan Franklin wrote this. I've never read Dan Franklin. Here's an opportunity. I don't think I'm excited to read it, but I'm not unexcited. I'm pretty much neutral on it. I'm more excited to read the Brian James Freeman than Sins of the Father, but that's okay. It's okay. I'll have it. I have it in the story box. Then we have this one. This is the one I was actually excited to read. My Fair Lady by Brooklyn Ann. So she's somebody in the collector circle. She writes like romance horror, and she's somebody who's a familiar name. She collects a lot of Suntup books, or used to. I don't know if she currently does it. So I was curious to see, what does she write? And I think it's really sweet that Brian James Freeman gave her this platform to share her work. She previously did the art in one of the Carrie books, and now I have a Brooklyn Ann signature. Brooklyn Ann Butler. Did not realize Brooklyn Ann Butler, My Fair Lady. And I believe, Francois did do the art inside. That's cool. So there it is. That one. And then finally this one, which I'm not sure what it is. Here's what I'm looking at. There's this. I'm not sure what it is. It is, Matthias Clausen book. Matthias Clausen. He wrote a lot of stuff about Joe Hill. So he wrote like essays in the Joe Hill books. And so this is Wunderkammer. A Wunderkammer of Story Oddities on Joe Hill's 20th Century Ghost. Sorry for just reading that and not showing you. So it's a book about a book. Yeah, that was. So there's two in there. I'm excited to read. So My Fair Lady by Brooklyn Ann, and the Brian James Freeman Bradbury Tower, and then the other one I will give a chance to is Dan Franklin, and the Charles Lambert one. So there's a few, right? There's 4 of them at least that I will happily read. Not bad. I think he does a great job. So I think some of these are hit and miss for a lot of folks. Bundled together, I think it's cool. I like what he did. So I'm digging it. Brian James Freeman, Brooklyn Ann, Charles Lambert, and Dan Franklin. Do you guys know Charles Lambert? Any familiarity with that name? I don't think I've ever seen it. I'm almost finished with Black House. Forgot how gory it gets. Very good, and I am very ready for T3. That's my TBR. I'm reading right now. I'm reading this one. This is the arc of John Dies at the End 5. I'm pretty much just started it. It's awesome already. I don't know how anybody could. I mean, it's if you love John Dies at the End, this is it. I mean, this is more of what we love. I almost said more of the same, but that's a disservice. This is more of what we love, and so far, I can't wait to finish it. And then I'm going to read Arson by Design, Traps Inspectors, and then Talisman Black House. So I'm right there with you. I can't wait to reread it. I agree. Need more space for new authors. You shared your meeting with Tyler Jones and Philip Fracassi and Mitch. There was a great group, very entertaining. And Tyler Jones's future is incredibly bright. Yeah, it was a great time. I hear what you're saying. When we have this many tributes, homages to King, then none of them feel special. You know what? It feels like I see a lot of people put Stephen King in the title of their video, and then they get tons of views. And it's just like you're riding the coattails. It's just like unimaginative. You're just like coasting in his wake. And there's got to be more originality. I'm done talking about Stephen King books to that level. Like, I'm very excited for Talisman 3, and I'm very excited for reading, maybe reading Billy Summers or The Institute or some of these other books, because King holds a special place in my library. He's a voice from my childhood into my adulthood, and there's no way to turn your back on that. It's baked into who I am. But holy shit. Like, I don't want to read a book about his books. I don't want to read like, oh, is this awesome? Oh, this is awesome. Like, I've moved on. Like, and I think that there's a place for that if you want it. I would rather explore the new works. And I don't know. Chad, you were in there too. Not that Jeff let you talk. Oh, man. And for anybody who saw my discussion about Arson by Design with Tyler Jones and Philip Fracassi and Mitch and Chad Lutsky, I'm sorry I'm in there. Oh, my God. That thing was painful to edit. And I didn't edit it all that much, but every time I'm there, I'm like, oh, my God, my mic is so loud. And I just, no, it was more Jeff than even Jeff wanted. Yeah. That's fine. I was just there to support my friend. Oh, that was very nice. Hers is the only one I laid out to check out soon. Brooklyn Ann, yeah. Brooklyn Ann is one of my best friends online. We both run a movie club and watch movies together almost every night. Wow, that's cool, Hans. Brooklyn also wrote me into a couple of her books. So did I, Hans. So did I. But, your role might not have been exactly, active. But you're in there. Brooklyn Ann's partner, Kent, died. Yeah, I know. That was so tragic. So that's where Butler comes from. Oh, I didn't even connect those dots. Yeah, so Brooklyn Ann's partner, Kent Butler, died when an old tree fell and crushed their home last Christmas. That is where the Butler comes from. Oh, man, I didn't know she took his name posthumously. Oh, wow. I know they were going to get married. That was so awful. I remember when she broke that news, and I honestly couldn't believe it. It seemed so... I couldn't accept what she was writing because it seemed so... No, that can't be true. It was so awful. Hans, I was just thinking about when that happened, yeah. After Black House, I start my reread of the entire Dark Tower. Do I need to also reread Hearts in Atlantis and Insomnia, or can I pass? I don't think you can pass, but I don't think you. No, I think you could pass. I don't think it's necessary. You could go hardcore, and you have to read a lot of. You have to read Wind Through the Keyhole between Wizard and Glass and Wolves of the Kala. You have to read Wind Through the Keyhole. That is my only mandatory when I do it. So I'm not here to foist my taco haired wishes on anybody. But that's what I would do. As far as Insomnia and Hearts in Atlantis, I mean, there's a lot of Dark Tower related books that King's admitted. And so I wouldn't, though. I would focus on the journey. If Roland ain't in it, like doing the work, I would start with Little Sisters of Illyria, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, Went Through the Keyhole, 5, 6, 7. That's what I would do. Come on, Jeff. I was only kidding. You and your humor are crucial. I don't think they're. Oh my god. Oh my god. No, I'm serious. I was serious, Jill. I was serious. That was a thing. I think if I'd have known that everybody else is so quiet and subdued, maybe I would have turned my mic down. I don't know. I plan to Went Through the Keyhole and Little Sisters. That's how you reread for sure, but I'm passing on a fourth read of The Stand right now. Yeah, I think that's fine. I don't think I remember Insomnia and Hearts in Atlantis very well, so I'm doing those. Well, I think that's important if you haven't remembered them. I think you do. I think I might do this. If I was to read it, I just added a book to the set, right? So I would read Little Sisters of Illyria, Gunslinger, Drawing of the Three, The Wastelands, Wizard and Glass, Wind Through the Keyhole, Salem's Lot, Wolves of the Kala, Song of Susanna, then Dark Tower. I would put Salem's Lot in there because Father Callahan in book 5 just sort of drops in and you're like, I really don't recall. But if you're familiar with Salem's Lot and you're like, no, I can recollect everything that happened in that book, then fine. Then don't sweat it. But I think I would want to read Salem's Lot before I read Wolves of the Kala. That's what I think I would do. The Little Sisters feature briefly in Black House, and I wonder if they are an invention of Straub's, perhaps. That would be cool if he honored Straub that way, but I mean, by writing the novel, but I bet you it's King. Insomnia, my favorite King book. That's a hot take, Mike. That is a hot take. I remember reading it and really liking it, but I wouldn't put it in my top 10. That's interesting, dude. I've had some people say they hated Insomnia. Very interesting, dude. Like it, Mike. I like it because there's so many King books you can read, and at different times of your life and in different moods that they can all land different ways. I think Gerald's Game is one of the best. And I think if I redid my top 10 list, it would shift. Because really, it's judging the book that has lasted the longest in your imagination. And Gerald's Game, I thought, was brilliant. It was very tense, claustrophobic, dark, introspective. There's so many great things about it. A book I don't remember at all, Dark Half. In Dreamcatcher, the only thing I remember is the violent diarrhea. And so there's a number of things. I liked Duma-Key a little bit. I thought Cell was amazing. There's so many books that I totally loved that don't get ranked highly from other King fans. But Insomnia is one of those books that I've seen a fair amount of hate for it. I don't understand it, but yeah. And I think I read Insomnia. When was that written? When was Insomnia? Do you have a year, Hans? 1994. I read it when I was working at like the night shift. Well, I was working from like 3 in the morning till like 3 in the afternoon. So very, very shitty hours in 1994. And I was a new homeowner. I bought a condo, but I think I was reading it when I was actually sleep deprived most of my days. Most of the For 12 years I was basically sleep deprived. And Insomnia was hit home pretty pretty neatly. It got to me because I understood that the feeling of just, oh my god, I got to pull my brain together and be a functioning human being, but it's like impossible. I reread Salem's Lot recently, and I'm aware of Father Cody inside joke for collectors, so I can pass on Salem's Lot. Okay. The only King books I've almost hated were Tommy Knockers and Dreamcatcher. Dreamcatcher, I don't think was a good book. I don't really remember it, but I love Tommy Knockers. I did, and I recently reread it, and I think there's some value to that book. It's very I think the truth of that book only has deepened as we've become an automated society. Because what Stephen King wrote about was people have all this technology. They have no clue how it works, but they are totally governed by this technology. And Tommy Knockers is like, when that gets out of hand, you don't know why these things are happening. You have no understanding of it, but this is now your reality. I don't know. I'm butchering it, but you have to look at old interviews. And I think Stephen King said he has no memory of writing it because he was so coked out of his mind. He was baked out of his brain, so he didn't remember writing it. 94, yeah. I dug Tommy Knocker. Yeah, I did too. I like The Dark Half. I just remember he was being stalked by an alter ego, right? Or something. So I'll leave it there. I know it's a spoiler a little bit. My least favorite King is The Girl Who Bored Me to Death. See, I started reading the title, The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon. The Girl Who Bored Me to Death with baseball talk after stupidly getting lost in the woods. Yeah, I also have no memory of that, but I have the pop-up book right here. And I remember Patty didn't know this existed last time I showed it, but it's a pop-up book. Stephen King pop-up book. There it is. The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon. Yeah, baseball, man. Who cares? Maybe I need to reread Tommy Knockers. No, I mean, if you didn't like it, you didn't like it. That's fair. But I mean, how long's it been since you read it? If you read it ages ago, maybe you're just in a different place. But I think our dependence on technology and has only deepened. And I think actually Tommy Knockers is in danger of becoming true. A little bit. Just a little bit. I've read every book when it came out since. Oh, Salem's Lot holds a spot in my heart for King. I read Carrie when the paperback came out, and then I grabbed Salem's Lot when it came out. It's what really got me going with King. And I've read every book when it came out since. Damn, that's quite kudos to you, Mark. That is not, I mean, I'm trying to think of what was the first it was the first hardcover I read, and then I had every hardcover after that. And I was just like you. The day it came out, it was getting read. And then, you just fall off. And then you realize there's so many other authors. But if it's a tradition that you've had since Salem's Lot, Kudos, man. That's pretty cool. That's pretty damn cool. Um, Stephen King has no memory of writing Cujo. It's when he was a full-on alcoholic. Okay. He wrote a character that was an alcoholic in Tommyknockers, but it was Cujo he forgot writing. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's cool. I knew it was something that he had no recollection. It's like if you can't remember writing a book, Cujo's also pretty damn brilliant. There's more depth to these books. And if he has no memory of writing it, it's like, wow. He does more basically in his sleep than a lot of people do, wide awake, with all the tools at their disposal now. The only King book I've reread was The Stand when the extended edition came out in the early 90s. One of these days I'll reread The Shining and Salem's Lot. Yeah, I've reread a number of King books. Not as many as a lot of people have, but I've reread The Stand like 3 times. And one of those times was, when it came out in the unabridged, because I read it in the original truncated version, and then the director's cut came out. And yeah, what a difference. Yes, I still needed that pop-up book. Tommyknockers comes down to one moment when the boy does his magic trick and makes his little brother disappear, and can't bring him back. The rest of the book is trash. Damn, Max. I said Max. Damn, Hans. You're Max Walnut. But damn. Wow, that's a hell of a thing. So who wrote the short story? There was a short story where somebody made somebody disappear. I think it was Josh Mallerman. Yes, it was Josh Mallerman in Goblin Presto. Is that the same book? Is that the same thing? Because when you said that, I'm like, yeah, that's a Josh Mallerman story. We got to look that up now, right? Goblin. We got to go to the shelves, man. Was it in Goblin or no? I don't know. I could look it up, but maybe that's not. I should have looked at the table of contents first. Yeah, Presto, page 275. That's funny because I didn't remember that that happened in Tommyknockers until you mentioned it, and yeah, that's basically what Presto was about. Anyway, I'm not Goblin. Excellent book. But am I wrong? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I do love that story. I know it's an unpopular I know that is an unpopular opinion, not a popular opinion. The girl who loved Tom Gordon. Yeah, I was kind of meh on it. I haven't read his last 6 or 8 books except for the story collections. Yeah, I'm behind too. I read Fairy Tale. I've never reread any book. I have far too many in the TBR pile, and when I have tried, I instantly remembered the book and put it down. That's funny. Well, I mean, you know what? If your memory is that solid and you're like, for me, when I reread a book, it's like seriously scary how I'll read a book and I'll get the overall impressions and I'll get the feelings and I'll connect with it on a certain level, but a lot of that just evaporates. And when I reread it, I start to see the things that perhaps I didn't give closer attention to the first time. and it's like putting another layer of paint on the wall. And sometimes it takes a few coats to really get the full picture. But yeah, to each his own. And I understand that. I have so many books. Like I just glanced, A Scanner Darkly. I've been meaning to read that since I bought it from Suntop. How long ago? And so, yeah, my shelves are loaded with that. I get it. I just can't do it. I've only read 2 or 3 of King's post 2000 works, and honestly, not many in the 90s either. But Classic King is classic for a reason. Classic King, in my opinion, up through Needful Things. So that he's giving you the epoch, the time frame of acceptable King. When I reread a book, I usually listen on Audible. Often it's to refresh my memory before I read a sequel. Oh, that's a good strategy. That's cool. I dig that. That's interesting. I, for one, like, again, I'm trying to think of some books. I reread Gerald's Game. I reread Misery a bunch of times. And I'm going to read it as the Suntop Artist Edition someday. I'm going to reread Talisman. I've read that like 2 or 3 times. And then go right into Black House ahead of T3, man. It's going to be bittersweet. So, yeah, for me though, it's scary. It is really scary when I reread a book. Like, oh my God, I don't really remember this scene, or I don't remember fully this character. And it's like really reconnecting in a deeper way than I think I needed. I'm always shocked. Like, did I even read this? Like, what the hell? Where did this come from? Or maybe it's because I'm just from that other dimension, other parallel universe. When I reread Kafka on the Shore, all the hints were there, and it was fun to anticipate all the reveals. That is cool. That's like what I said about rereading Autumn Springs. You know who the killer is on that second read, so you can just be with the story. I reread Magica twice and actually read it not Audible. Yeah, I gotta read that again. I only read that once, and I know Quiddity, I know Pi O Pa, and that's another Suntop I gotta read. I love the Magica. Cujo reread every few years, but reread most reread book ever for me. Yeah, there's those books, man. They're just special. So I don't know what else I had to talk about. I did my show and tell, Child of God, Giant Crabs. We talked about Rapture. You could get that Jeffrey Thomas chapbook over there. Talked about my TBR. I did. I was going to show you the Cemetery Dance production update page because they posted an update on June 19th that I didn't know they did. It's laughable, but not because it's funny. Suntop, I was going to show the GJYS thing. I forgot about that. They're doing the story, The Star by GJYS. And unfortunately, Ron's not excited for it, but I thought it was very cool. If you are around tomorrow, here's what it is. And this will go out on The Star. It's another one of those short books. Boom, The Star, and it sound awesome. So first published in the Christmas 1897 issue of The Graphic and collected 2 years later in Tales of Space and Time, GJYS' The Star stands as one of the earliest and most powerful works of apocalyptic science fiction in the English language. A strange luminous body enters the solar system and collides with Neptune, forging a blazing new star that hurtles sunward, passing perilously close to Earth. As a celestial intruder draws nearer, its gravitational fury triggers earthquakes, tidal waves, and melting ice caps, while humanity cycles through wonder, denial, and terror. Wells tells this story not through a single protagonist, but through the collective voice of a world under siege. Scientist and laborer, believer and skeptic, building a remorseless planetary tension that culminates in a final shift of perspective so coolly devastating it has haunted readers for more than a century. That sounds badass. It is $75. It goes on sale tomorrow. The title will be available to order on Tuesday, July 7th at 1 p.m. Pacific. So, if you are of a mind, figure out what 1 p.m. Pacific means to you in your time zone and get over there. I think it sounds awesome. I'm not going to get it. Full disclosure, there will be how many? 400 copies. So, there's a lot of good enthusiasm for these short chapbook or these short stories from Suntup. And Monkey's Paw sold out really fast. I don't know about this one, but I think it's very cool. And I don't know if you guys are up for it or want it, but I'm out of here, fellow readers. Have a great night. You too, Chad. See ya. Take it easy. I'm going to get going. I'm going to head out. I'm going to go brush my taco meat. And I'm go to bed then, and enjoy my 4.5 ABV peace of mind. But glad you guys were able to come around this week, and I'm glad I was here, and I hope to see you again in another week. And I hope we're all having a good time. Have a good time. See you next week, but have a good time until then.